about a year the impending deadline GTEC, the Ghana Tertiary Education Council Commission. Womono ede aba echebo say by the end of the month of August, per law and per regulations, private universities ahodoɔ no nyinaa no must be ready say wɔn betumi achata. Failure to do so, what it means is that say one show proof say moving forward, you have the capacity within the next 1 year or two, then automatically, we invest, will be closed down. Now, mamine a year, Professor Albert Adukwe, any enkomo, or no a national chairman, edema, the Independent Private Universities Council. Now, anope, yemisa say, how prepared are they together with their entire membership ahead of this particular year regulations? Prof, if you can hear me, good morning, and thank you once again for your time.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. I'm grateful you have joined us this morning. So first off, is there a notice that has been issued to you and then your members as well?
Yeah, well, let me give you a rundown of activities that have taken place in connection with this directive. Way back in March 2022, there was a workshop organized by the GTEC. In Koforidua, the workshop was titled Charter Application Processes and Modalities. Charter Application Processes and Modalities. So it was a 3-day workshop organized at Capital View Hotel in Koforidua, where all private institutions were invited. I was there myself. There was a large number of private universities that attended this 3-day workshop. So at this workshop, we were taking through all the various things we have to do, forms to be filled, and, the processes that we have to go through to charter. So that was the first step. So this workshop took place from 31st, I think, to 2nd April 2022. Now, following that, the council, that's the Council of Independent Universities, we realized that at such a big workshop, some, members wouldn't have the opportunity to ask questions and so on. So the council on its own also organized 2 additional workshops, all in an effort to prepare our institutions towards this charter. So we organized the first workshop was on in October 2022.
Okay.
And then we had a second one in November 9. All these were held in Accra here. Now, at these workshops, we invited the quality assurance officers, that the first one of the private universities, and we invited some of the experts from GTEC to take members through some of the things that were discussed at Koforidua, but in a more greater detail. Yes, so the first one was a 1-day workshop, and then the second one was held in November. This was on what we call financial sustainability plan, how to prepare financial sustainability plan, because this plan is also one of the key requirements of the chartering process. So I'll say that in 2022, GTEC started the whole show by taking us through what we need to do, and then this was augmented by the Council of Independent Universities also in the last quarter of 2022. So as far as I know, sufficient information has been provided to all the institutions to go through the process.
Yes, but the big question this morning will be that how ready are the individual private universities to go through the entire processes, and then again, the fulfillment of the requirement, which is a precedent before, a school or a university is granted their own charter. Do your members give you that assertion that they are ready to be able to fulfill all the requirements?
Well, we've had several meetings, and I can tell you that as chairman, not a single institution has come to me saying that it cannot meet the requirement. But maybe just for your listeners, let me give you the full picture of the requirement. Now, it says that all tertiary education institutions are mandated to charter by the end of August 2024.
Okay.
There it goes on. Institutions that are not able to meet the minimum requirements for charter prior to the expiration of the deadline, but have demonstrated sufficient cause to charter by the given deadline, have an additional 2 years to finalize their charter application with the commission. So what in effect it means is that, yes, August 2024 is the deadline, but then it can be extended. It can be extended for additional 2 years. It all depends on whether the institution has put in the application and has made sufficient progress by the first deadline of August 2024. So as I said, we have prepared our members, to go through the processes. But as I said, I have not received a single petition from an institution that says that, well, we are unable to fulfill the requirement. I'm not aware.
Prof, how many private universities are part of this council that we know of?
For the Council of Independent Universities, we are 53 in number, 53.
53 in number?
Yes. In number. 50,
but do we still have some private universities that are not part of this council?
Oh, yes. There are quite a lot of, And let me also say this. It's not every institution that is, let me put it this way. Within the council,
yes,
we have different categories of membership. Some are university colleges, because to be a university college, you need to have at least 3 faculties. So some of us are university colleges. Beyond that, we also have some that are called institutes.
Okay.
Some are also ordinary colleges. In other words, they are not university colleges. So we have different categories of private institutions that are part of the council, and some are also not part.
Yes, I simply asked for the number because I know that basically you will be able to speak more when it comes to the preparedness of members within the council. But the first workshop you had at Capital View in Koforidua, were the membership more than the 53 that constitute your council?
Yes, in fact, more than 100 private institutions showed up at that workshop.
Very well. So the impression we're getting again is that when it comes to the Council for Independent Private Investors, almost all these 53, for the best of your knowledge, are ready to go through the entire processes.
No, I won't use the word they are ready. You see, readiness is relative. Readiness will mean many things. Readiness will mean, first, you have the ability to pay even the application fee.
Okay. Which I'm told, the application fee, which I'm told is 70,000.
No, it's 60,000.
60,000.
60,000.
Okay.
60,000. 60,000 and 50, 60,000 and 50 Ghana cedis. Yeah, that is the application fee.
Okay.
So talking about readiness, one is that the institution must have the ability to pay the application fee. That's number one. Number two, the institution must be able to show that it has what it takes, because several forms have been sent to be completed, by GTEC. So you have to demonstrate that you have the right caliber of faculty, library facilities, and so many other things. So talking about readiness means that you have what it takes to charter. You see, now, you know the meaning of charter. Charter means that you become an autonomous
institution
to award your own degrees once you are granted a charter. So what it means is that your institution must be ready in all areas of university, business. Let me put it that way.
So what it means is that per the regulations under the Educational Regulation Bodies Act,
Yes.
and per the requirements that I see there, for you to be able to charter, you might have fulfilled all the necessary requirements, including one, it says that the institution must have operated under a mentorship for not less than 10 years. And that is the first requirement. Two,
Yes.
it says that the college or its present institution must own the physical facility. So you must equally have the physical infrastructure to be able to charter. Now, the other one is that at least 60% of each stratum in the pyramidal structure must conform to the GTEC norms. Again, it comes back to state that at least 50% of academic staff must have terminal degrees or qualifications. What it means is that over 50% of your academic staff must be PhD holders. Do we have universities that have employed PhD holders that are ready to be able to charter under all these conditions and then requirements as stated by the laws? And many more others I haven't mentioned.
Good. So, yes, you have rightly stated this is what we call the norms. These are the norms. Now, certainly, at Cooperadia, we raised the issue about some of these requirements. Now, look, these requirements are very stringent, and it will be extremely difficult for every institution to meet this requirement. Okay, fine. So I think that we were given the assurance that, okay, you complete the forms, bring your whatever you have on the ground, and there are experts who review whatever information you provide. Now, we pleaded actually in Kufuridua that it might become necessary to waive some of these stringent requirements. So these things can be discussed, and in fact we are continuing to discuss some of these things. But I think that the important thing is for each institution to pay the application fee and then start the process. You see, you start the process. Once you start the process, at the point in time where you fall short, you have the opportunity to meet with GTEC to discuss where you fall short and how you intend to address areas where you fall short. I think that it can be handled by GTEC, but it is not a good thing not to start the process at all, because then if you don't start the process at all, nobody will know what challenges you have. But you start, and then where you have challenges along the way, you can make a representation to GTEC, and they will help you out.
Yes, but Prof, again, the concerns will be that how do I start a process knowing very well that at the middle of the entire process, I'll be stuck and cannot proceed? Because these are, by law, the requirements you need to fulfill for the president to be able to grant you a charter. The president has the final authority in doing so. So for GTEC to be able to make such recommendations, you must equally ensure that such requirements are being fulfilled. Again, when it comes to the finances of the respective universities, the law is saying that every institution applying for a charter must demonstrate financial sustainability to be able to run the university on its own accord. So, yes. We are looking at all these instances. We know also of the fact that the universities are facing challenges when it comes to enrollment. So, you going in for PhD holders and expending most of your revenues on these same people in terms of salary payment and all the others. How do you financially become sustained in running the affairs of the university under a very short period of time?
Yeah, well, some of these issues I think will best be answered by GTEC. But what you are enumerating are challenges on the ground that some of the universities will face, and they are indeed real. So well, as I said, at the Kofrida workshop, some of these issues were raised with GTEC. Some of these issues were raised with GTEC. Look, it is not going to be possible for all of us to meet these requirements. But as I said, we were advised to apply. But you asked me a question which probably I want to comment on. That why do you want to start a process that
you'll be stuck at the middle of it? Yes.
That you'll be stuck at the middle of it. Well, you see, this is now part of the law, as you rightly said. So it's a matter of if you want your institution to survive or still be on the ground, then you have to start, because otherwise, then unless the institution then decides that look, we can't meet the requirements and therefore we want to shut down or close down, that is a different thing. But for us at the council, we are encouraging all our members to apply. You understand? We are encouraging all members to apply. We have even said that institutions that would need help, even after all the workshops, if you need help and then you call me, the chairman, that, well, you need help to fill a form or something of that sort, we will arrange to get help for you. So, well, yes, what you read are indicators to be satisfied in the chartering process. But for me, I don't think they are cast in stone. From the interactions at the COVID workshop, yes, these things are there, but they are not cast in stone. So the thing is, you put in the application at the stage where you are stuck, as it were. You approach either the council or go directly to GTEC and discuss your issues with them. I think it's a better approach than not starting at all. Because if you don't start at all, it means that come August 2024, your institution stand the risk of being closed down. So yes, the requirements are there, but as far as I'm concerned, that will not deter institutions not to apply.
Well, Prof, finally, with you, we are discussing this because the Council for Independent Private Universities, collectively, you have a stronger voice rather than individual institutions going in to fight on their own. Now, would the Council rather propose for mergers among some of your member institutions, or better still call for the suspension of this aspect of the law, rather than strictly allowing the GTEC to go on with the implementation of this particular policy? Failure to do so even after 2 years, then optically, most of the institutions will face a close down or a total shutdown. So will you recommend that some of the institutions must come together and then merge and rather share profit, or the owners of the respective institution become shareholders, among themselves, rather than sit back knowing very well that you cannot still fulfill some of these things and then watch the government to outrightly shut you down? Would this be something that you propose on the table?
Yeah. In actual fact, at meetings we've had since 2022, this issue of merger has come up at our meetings. But the thing is that you can propose to institutions to merge. But then, we as a council, we cannot determine which universities to merge.
Okay.
So it is up to you or up to the institutions that are weak in terms of, these indicators to, decide on their own or to initiate, let me use the word, to initiate the process of merging. So that's one. The issue of merging is a very dicey thing. Each institution was founded by somebody with a vision, to do something. Now, to ask that, okay, go and merge with this other university, It's not going to be easy.
Okay.
But each institution then should identify other institutions that have similar, programs. For example, if you look at the list, there are some nursing colleges and so on, all in part of the private institutions. All those offering nursing, for example, may decide that, look, in the midst of all this, let us begin to talk about merger. So we want this merger process to be the initiative of the private institutions themselves, rather than the council imposing this on them. But we have discussed it, and the idea sounds good to some of these universities. But the implementation of this whole merger process really lies on those institutions themselves, rather than at the doorstep of the council. But we have proposed to them to do so.
Very well. Prof, I'm very grateful for your time, but I believe we'll have more time to digest this further to see the way forward for the private universities in our country. I'm grateful.
I'm also, I want to thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And Professor Albert Adukwe Ada Meneno Edi Nkobono Ono National Chairman Edema, the Council for Independent Private Universities, speaking to us on the sidelines of a year directives are GTEC, the Ghana Tertiary Education Council.